So I'm very delighted to once again to meet you all here today. And also I'd like to thank you for all those people who are involved in organizing this course. It's really a very wonderful things to do this here. And also admire this for this group for just on a regular basis. You're doing you're continuing your practice, so which is also great things to hear that. So I admire the group for continuing your the regular practice, because in generally in our life it's really to integrating these the practices which help us to understand, to develop the inner values, or to learn and about our inner value or the spiritual value. So this is something really very beneficial, and by inner value or spiritualities, we're talking about just cultivating. We put some effort trying to then focus within ourselves and trying to cultivate and develop, such as like the love and compassions and a good and warm-heartedness and so forth. So, when we engage in the spiritual practice, so we are focusing on some sort of different part of or the different like a dimension of our life, and because on the one other hand, there is no doubt that you all have the obtained a lot of education in so many different fields, and as well as most people in here, so all have found a very good and living conditions, and so externally in a sense that we got everything is in a very good favorable situations. So however we also have to it's important to at the same time to recognize the importance of the how on the mental levels, how also at the same time it's important to enrich ourselves, to enhance some positive qualities and just as we're saying, trying to like cultivating a positive state of minds, and so because without that, again, without when we don't focus on this internal developing internal values, and as a result of that, because of that, and then we find a lot of problems, face a lot of problems in our life.
That's all. That 가르는 가르 손 도와 되냐니 따발게. 내가 나도 손 도사도 가르는 나도 손 도와. 저게 알로는 나도 갈 손도. 만일에 갈 손도. 한나 너 뒤에서 나도 손 갈 거는 안 넣어야. 손을 가르쳐는 나도 다 리가 날리가. 나도 손도나 야고 내와.
So we need to. It's worth to direct a bit of our attentions to the what kind of state of mind that we, or the mental attitude that we carry. We normally hold within ourselves. From the morning when we get up in the morning. What sort of the mental attitude we have. So likewise, when we go to bed, again, direct, have what sort of attitude, or when we, go somewhere, or just sitting, or we at whatever the work we are doing. So throughout all this, the actions. So it's good to we need to give it, observing the and finding out what sort of mental attitude or the state of mind that we possess. And what really drives us to undertake the various actions is really basically really not so much different from even all the other form of life, such as even like animals. When we look deep down what they are seeking. So there's all the beings like all other beings. So there is deep down. So we have some sort of desire. We are seeking or looking for something in our life.
소소 공원 쉐바데 다지 당연히 된다 대아 소소 다 내비 대아 첸로 춘로 더 손도고야 소소 리가 대라 때리 소소 대아 첸로 리가 늘대로 다 더라 된데 대아 첸 만로는 대아 녀는 되게 싫어 되네 로셔 용아 녀요 주주나 지야나 손은 근데 또 나처럼 야야 돼 So netting and a card, so netting and a card, mending and a card. That is another regarding where on dead. So deep down, so we we all have this the innate desire or the thought for seeking happiness, and to avoid unhappiness or avoid sufferings. So therefore it is on this really on the basis of this our fundamental wish to find happiness or to avoid sufferings that we spend our life, and it is because of that we also. If we are keeping our life very busy with the various work thing, there's so many work to do, one thing after another. So it is to really to fulfill this this innate desire to achieve happiness and to avoid sufferings. So therefore, it's good to it's important to spend some time spend a bit of time to reflect upon this. First of all, to reflect upon what one really seek, what one really perceiving and looking for in one's life. We need to have a clear idea of that, and then to see at the same time, of course, we see what the connections, how whatever we are doing in our life, how that is related to this our fundamental wish to find happiness and to avoid sufferings, and so therefore, and then it is necessary for us to then to evaluate whatever we are doing in our life. If it's a work, and even if in the work we may be, sometimes we think that we are doing well, we're making some progress, and then to at the same time it's good to make that kind of evaluation of the measure that our progress in terms of whether in terms of our this wish, in terms of achieving happiness, whether there is really a increase in that area or not. So if there is no increase in happiness, and then we have to be a bit more aware that then there is there's a likelihood that because there's no happiness, then likelihood that there's more suffering, either there is already there, or one can easily caught into the some unwanted situations. It may sounds very simple, but at the same time, we really need to sometimes it is a word or beneficial to give a bit of reflect upon these things. About we look into the happiness. For example, what is the happiness for us? Then of course we can understand is happiness is something, either we will talk happiness in terms of our mental happiness or a physical happiness. So similarly, when we think of the sufferings or some unwanted things, so it's also mainly related to either to our mind or to our body. And so there is in terms of our success in our life, so we can see success in terms of our the physical well-beings, and we can say really thanks to all the hard work that we put in, and when we were young, in getting the education, and then afterward, we getting into ourselves into the workforce, and so in this way we have in terms of the physical conditions, gathering all the physical conditions. So we have been say that we can say that all our hardships have really paid off, and we can say that there is a on that level, on the physical levels, we could say that we have the eliminated, we got rid of get ourselves out of so many problems, and on the other hand we have place ourselves in a very favorable situations.
That guy is there, how come that guy is there, mother leg doing a sizeman to be doing what you live with. Take my dog, yeah, to take that take my dog, Madua. That go with your machine, go with your mother, you woman, then your mother, you woman. That is something in the is that? Is that the legend? So the college are living with such a digger. What should you fashion do again? Mango non Rosayan does a heading. The college thought the living live to jail, set up heading it, standard in one.
So it's like, as far as these, the eliminating the like the physical problems or the or the sufferings or the miseries, then the fact that we don't have any such we don't face such a problem of where there's a there's not enough food that we have to suffer a starvation, so that is the indication that we have overcome that, avoided that kind of physical problem. So likewise, there's no such problem of suffering because of the thirsty, or the lack of shelter, and then also the fact that we even when we get sick, the fact that we have the facility, good medical facilities. So all these are really the indications of that our success on the material or on the physical levels, and so we also have to really acknowledge and appreciate that that we are being able to have this, achieve this success, make this progress on in terms of this our good the material conditions.
That's on there's some that they are calling them and then the one dinner and then they take it over what you are. And Tatus on him, what you are. So the men I live on the again to the apple better than you are. You didn't want to be Tatus, what they young and hardly in a tattoo apple. It's a tradition on the red, I live. That's on tether. Sono tether, tongue under the big teacher, under the ala chip, many tongue on the gun, lady, under said giant tongue. Said just tombang on the shallow run, that is the thing. They just doing just sad, and said just told my shallow no, you told the other.
So furthermore, like in when in this like in here in like in Australia, so I'm quite amazed that the amount of the support services that is available for the peoples, and so it's very all the facilities there are really quite amazing. Even if someone who individually do not have a lot of such good all the condition or the comfort of everything, but there's support of the other people or from the community. This is quite amazing. So now that is the situation in terms of the external the well-being, the suitable condition for our external well-beings. So now, as we were saying before, now how when we look into in terms of our state of our mind, then if you ask the question whether we have if there's a stable peace or not, then we have to look whether we peace or not. Then it is a matter of looking at how is our mind, what kind of mind we have possess. For example, when we are doing some work, and then if we check the pay attention to our mind, and where is our mind, whether the mind is there at that present moment, and then a lot of times our mind is very pretty much like almost 100% is not at that moment, but it's very much distracted towards external world, outside of ourselves.
Yes. That is it. That says that not same as shallow by to time other children, never in a changing road. No, so little thing, because mother touch a car in a man drug the man drug the said, man have them with you. Some other change watching it. You know that. Shalom the touching though, some man drug the said, the man have leg. Said thing you do. That's it, they know what much is it. Another man there good, giant man too good, to go, man, the go, man, there was a on Tonga. Said no same man, so then there was a then it is something to do this, then it was. I don't say that. There was I never can say me about you. She said, no, give us never support. Long no, give us. There was a tongue and the ass and Chushi Shepherd. Chushi Shepherd, tongue and drug this, sugar something, not drug this, not him, there you are. Yeah, somewhere I have good and conditions. That I am right. That's it. I am right. All this. I just don't. I know right or I will come out. You know, really. There's some choto. Today is a car. Is a not I can't understand, but that's on today to say some to finish it.
So now if we look into the, direct look into our mind and see the as a how as if you don't if you do not calm our mind within ourselves, then how then we as a result of that we become a victim of our own mind. As a result of that we suffer. So therefore these as we were saying before, how if rather than mind being calmed within ourselves, and if we always let the mind always been wandering after the external object of distractions, then as a result of that, then somehow no matter what one accomplishes in life, but you will never be able to find the satisfactions, and because there is as a result of this this uncontrolled thought, uncontrolled state of thought that arises, fills in one's mind. As a result of that, then all this more desire, more desire will also increase in one's mind. So therefore, you won't be able to with the desire. When there's a lot of desire there, then you won't feel a sense of it's not possible to feel a sense of contentment, sense of being fully satisfactions. So it's like with the desire until desires are not calm, overcome, then more if you have something accomplish something more we want. Like if you are able to achieve something 100, then we look for 1,000, or after that we look for 10,000. And so on the other hand, how when the mentally when we say to ourselves, able to say to ourselves, whatever we have accomplished, we are kind of content, satisfied ourselves with that, then suddenly when we do that, then we suddenly feel ourselves very contented, and that really rest, feel the sense of real relaxations when our mind the desire is calm by this sense of contentment that we give rise within ourselves. So therefore it's if we examine you can see the what what kind of impact, what kind of difference is made the way our mental attitude that or the mental the outlook that we cultivate. That in our outlook, if it is something very positive, then we feel positive. Whereas if an outlook is very negative and it's always very like a discontented, and then that's how we will feel at the same time.
That's all called. That's all take. That is that's all some good. Show touches some more there, so they just put so much there. Renayo, she touches some more there, leg their step on the sell their step on the that she touches some more there, leg their step on the leg do my set, their step on the sell do my set, their step come on the blue. I think this one. She didn't dress one. That's a bunch of them. Have one as well. Yeah, some take to tell this one.
So having recognize the how just as this that happiness that we it's important for us to have the happiness on the material on the external condition, physical condition. So at the same as well as the important for our well-being in terms of the happiness on the mental levels. How important it is that we should have on mental level we have enough happiness and also there is no there's a minimum sufferings. So having recognized this, and then simply the question is how when we got to think about how on the mental level how we can achieve that happiness and to avoid suffering, and then on that question then we have to bring we have to raise question of is that whatever did we accomplish on the external level, whatever we achieve on the external level, whether that is sufficient or not, whether that is enough cause, enough factor to eliminate the pain and suffering on the mental level, or to bring enhance happiness on the mental levels. So this is something that we need to ask, and of course if it is not enough, how whatever we achieve on the externally, if that is not going to, even though it can help us to to overcome certain the external problems and to bring improve our external living conditions, but however if it doesn't have it doesn't work, doesn't have the same to eliminating some suffering on a mental level and to enhance happiness on mental level, then we need to think about.
Today, she today somebody again no second that rich very very happy. Poor and very very unhappy. That today somebody no second that matter isn't kaje saying you kaje. 정보도 얘네 전면 게 저시보는 세 병화 챙기세. 얘네세 네 병화 대화 세 병화 얘네세 이 다지 때돼 있어. 들이제 다때 만동에서 진 통문도와. 대갈 때가. 시 빠져 버스 지원 너 생때 내 뭐요 다 손도 그거 알아 맞어. 또 뭐요 와도 가만 뭐요 와도 맞어 손도 그거 알아.
So if it is a case that all the favorable external the factors would guarantee us the happiness and will solve the problem and sufferings, then it has to be the situation where the riches, richer you are, then you have to, to happier you have to be, should have a less problem as well. You know, richer, the more wealth you have, but then this is, you know, not really this always the case, and also there are situations where some people even saying that the you know, when you look at the measure, the sufferings, the level of the suffering, then people who have more wealth, they have more sufferings than those who do not have. So that's on the level, on the, you know, on the mental level, of course. Yeah. So therefore, we need to ask ourselves, you know, why, you know, the you know, those, you know, who you know, who are surrounded by a very favorable, a very good living condition, you know, why, you know, on the mental level, why they don't have a you know, have enough happiness, enough, you know, joy in their life, and so we need to ask these questions, and then these obviously we will then have to you know, understand that is, you know, clearly understand, we clearly recognize that it is a lot to do with the states of mind of the individual beings, your way of thinking, mental attitude, or the way of thinking of the individual beings, which has the you know, something related to what the individual experience on their mental level.
No shit to the person, shit to the no sick them, the atom, Karina, so than I take it, says today. Says there's so funny what you till I tell the petting you are some death.
So in fact, we can appreciate even when we, as we you know, reflect on these situations, but how, you know, when we really direct our mental attention on our mind, and beginning to understand, and that how our mental attitude, our way of thinking has so much to do with what we experience in our life. So when we do that, how even just to, you know, such a bit of time that where we spend on such reflection, mental reflection, even that itself, we will find that is very effective in calming our mind, and in fact, that it is we can see by doing that, have such a reflection on our mind, reflection on our inner value, that itself is an indication that we actually are is as if our minds, you know, coming much closer to ourselves.
That's on the little song. Saying the Yamoyo, she Panjo Jemima. Daily, yes, she didn't never do. She didn't manner that Yamayo, Jena, the general cover, that's their song too. Right.
So, so as we reflect on this, on our the you know, like on our state of mind, and the various, you know, the cause, what causes the happiness or unhappiness on our within our mind, and then to you know, we can see, we can you know, realize, we can verify that sometimes it's really you know, totally, it's really nothing to do. It's not. It depends on certain on the external, any of the external conditions, the external factors.
Yeah, that is that kind of known that they get the kind of in the same way, said down, get then they don't know the other. Not telling something about it.
So therefore, what this we have to understand is that the condition is not something not in the outside world, not something related to the external world. So rather, we have to understand that it is something the condition, something factor which is within ourselves.
Say no lot. You take car land, 저도 제일 세지 근데요.
No.
그 내가 세단 건.
So the something in within or in our mind.
대가를 좀 대가를 시 특별서 뭐 뒤가 다른 들어된 차도를 좋아하지. 손도. 야. 나 차도 지내거든. 그건 누가 뭔데 손 찌도. 시 완전히 만도 차도 용이야. 차도를 놓을 대안 되는 문제 찌지. 대라 대한 만도 큰 용이야. 만도 재생 용이야. 만도 맞아 용이야. 로안 이래래. 다 손도야. 다 큰로를 소 대안 문제 시 특제 좀 어디가 뭐 녀모시 특제 뭐야. 내일 절 만나지 명화시 다 손은 된도나 다 손 대도 좀 거우야 얘는 뭐야 뭐잖아 차도래서 대안 되는데 한 손도 대안 돼 그러래 대안 되는 대안 문제 되게 빠져 되지 가시는 레드 적어서 이런 가시는 이런 게 차도 제비다 라 빠져 되는데 빠져 채하는 걸어 되는 건 차도 사고 소소 녀되는 콜로된 제세제 소소들이 녀마 콜로된 맞아요 거죠. 그 들이 제거야. 다 되는데 강대가. 일단 다 세게 양이야 제세제는 거. 근데 내가 때더라. 주바이라나 주바제 고마전 콜 차도랑다. 주바지. 콜로 녀되는 콜도 제세제고라. 콜이 셔마요 콜된 맞아요 거라. 다 들이 가도라. 세야도 서로 조금 떠오르던 너무 냐무들이 이제 내용이다. 맞는 게 저러서 맞아 손을 맞아 저 손을 징콘 손을 옆에 야래 들 손을 징콘아.
So there's a in our mind or within ourselves. So there's a whole factors which can be the cause to enhance and happiness, or can be a cause to bring problem, bring sufferings. So this is something within us which is totally completely independent from the external the external circumstance or the external conditions. So when we for examples, because of this is something within the factor cause or the factor within ourselves, within our mind, how this can, when look, we can easily, when we look at the as a business, person, when you look at the observe the wealth of some other, business, then you can easily feel jealous for that, and then you have to ask the question of whether it is a business, or it could be the reason for the jealous could be something else, for other things. So we have to ask: when we feel jealous, is it really something nice or not? How we feel? And of course, it's very can be miserable and can be something very painful, and likewise, how sometimes for no reasons we thinking of some other person, usually to some people, those who are who are on the same level, who are equal to ourselves, then we want to feel like competing with them. or when we observe, take into account of some other people who are a bit, below us in terms of wealth, in education, whatever, and then somehow by looking at them, we just feel ourselves, pride, in our mind, and again that is also is not a pleasant feeling. So therefore, this, when we think of this, what is the primary cause of generating these unwanted, thoughts, unwanted these emotions of feeling like anger towards other, feeling jealousies, or feeling the pride, or competitiveness. When we look at the cause, so one of the main cause is because of, as we were saying before, is because of not holding or not keeping our mind within ourselves, and in another word, because of our mind being the under the influence of the various distractions, external distractions. No.
네, 다선데 다다 대선도래 맞선도 대강가로 소센도 맞도 가지래 좋아. 소소 세 롱운도 맞도 제 세년모 온도. 다 세년모 온도 되는 일은 뭐야? 지금 왜 이렇게 얘는 그 사람 공부해. 그 선도 거, 선 맞도 거고야 말해. 선 제도 때문에 거고야 돼야.
So it is, if we think about, if we reflect on this, then we can actually quite clearly understand how this whole thing is because of not being able to subduing or controlling our mind, controlling our thoughts and our emotions, and so these. Because if we look at our situations, then we can see that how the force which really control us is our mind, is the one most important thing that really control us and which overpower us, and so therefore we're talking about how if the mind that we if we do not control the mind which control us, then how, which in another word, then the mind which control us will be always been overpowered by the various distractions, mental distractions, and so as a result of that, then we'll be like a pave ways to generate all these various unwanted thoughts and emotions. So so a lot of the problem that we the experience which we find in life, so it's all because of the lack of disciplining or controlling our mind, and so therefore we as we were just saying before, therefore it's really important to, it's not so much to actually understand, but however in order to understand we have to reflect on these things about our mind, about the relationship of our various thoughts that we cultivate, we generate, and how that to relating to our experience, and then on the in that context, in this context, then trying to understand that how if we do not discipline, do not control our mind, then we will end up with so much unnecessary problems. And so therefore, so in this way, if it's important to come to the conclusion of that, to that I must, control or subdue my mind. So then the meditation practice then comes in the place where we are, as a means which we have to understanding as a means to for us to be able to the controlling or subduing the mind. So therefore really the if you give out more the thoughts on and the reflections on what we have just discussed in this throughout this so far, then you can clearly appreciate and you understand the benefit of meditation practice.
Kunro sai yedar lo le nganu kunro le ta te ba kunro ma sha la ya ma de lo la ba le ko le lo ye de kunro ma shi kunro ma sai ye ji ngan de da ji de na ye ta le la bu ma che ba da de chen kunro ma da ta ma de nyo ye de ga na kunro sa ye ge ye ko ro so no ma da de 예제 선을 거는 그런 맛이 나오고요. 다로 대션 로이제신도야. 그런 사이에 그런은 아주 일 못해야 되는 거야. 콜파도니 그런 무사에 그런 데를 가서는 그런 못해야 하면 그런 맛이 세 대야지 문제야. 자, 들려서 봐 선을 가다 내가고 제 선도만 선을 아프된 보면 돼야 돼. 얘는 되었다. 그저 사이에 집어넣으면 다 그런 사람 내내려 거다 내내는 세고를 얘나 그냥 그저 뭐 사이에 진짜 되게 싫어하시고 라인 거야. 다른 싫어하대 소 싫어를 가대 아 저런 그저 오늘 만들면 저런 뭐대야 정도 싫어하들 라인 거야 만들었대. 그저 뭐 사이에들 봐 저런 너는 그저 마신 저런 대하는 건 뉴스에 소 싫어하대 너도 제일 거야. 근데 계속 싫어하려 되는 다 대도 대리라 이제 대리다 진짜.
So we say that the meditation is a means to, of subduing or controlling our mind, and so when we talk of meditation practice, then we're talking about some sort of practice, which remedy and which actually counteract all this, all the what we so call as the mental afflictions, like for example the angers, jealousies, and so forth, and so therefore the meditation, as a practice. So in the meditation, in meditations, so we take into we engage our mind into some kind of objects or certain way of thinking, which really, in a way, which are directly opposites to the mental delusions, mental afflictions. When how opposite to the kind of the mental outlooks when we have a mental delusion in our mind, like such as anger. Okay, so therefore, like if we have to see for example, in order to prevent angers, so we have to engage in our mind in something which is not related to the cause, any cause of the anger.
right? So in simple, one easy solutions for that is one of the primary cause of the anger is the object, whatever the object that which is make you feel anger. So that is so therefore as a remedy to anger, so we have to introduce a different kind of objects, because if we in our mind, if our mind occupied on the same object, then we can't stop this anger from arising. So therefore we have to engage in meditation practice where we train our mind or to fix on to stay on the something different object. So we are just saying this is just one like a simple solutions. So therefore we can see that how there is either our mind have to be sit on that different object, that object which doesn't which doesn't have that the cause which cannot cause us the anger to arise, or we think of the object, the object of the anger. So one or the others. So if our mind is able to sit in the object that which doesn't arise the anger, and then we will notice that when the moment the mind stays there, then it kind of pacify the anger, and so as a result we can experience, gain some sort of peace in our mind, and so in this way really it's the important to as we engage in this spiritual practice. So also it's important to we are also developing like a more inner knowledge or the wisdoms or the wisdom knowledge within ourselves to and so we have to be trying to in order to follow the practice. So we have to really to follow the wisdom knowledge to as a something which we the guide us to what to do.
근데 얘는 러나처럼 누가한테 말로 생겨. 근데 마사이는 러나처럼 누가한테 문제. 근데 너 신도 다 상태도다. 다 대가 손도 저러 때더라. 대선 저러 야보도 근데 제 로지지 제나 패시 좀 와야 가야 되는데 먼저 그 열지 제니 완전 못 살려 용은이 와. 더더 반 대반 하셔. 너희 샤면 열지 너희 샤는 열 대야 용은이 와. 더 맞아 응연의 손도 건데. 맞아 제 너희 제 샤니 열 못 대야 와. 코요는 빨리 맞아 용이야. 펜도사 이거야 막 걸리 맞아 온 게 되네. 근데 생들 무대야 체 로고선. 근데 내가 이제 신나 자 제배나 까마지 까마니에 그걸 샤마지 들이지 권리제나 이만 로드는 코찬에 로 마샤와세 가제 로지 샤소나나 열 무대야 뭐인데 제동야 고자니 요야 됐어. 등에는 안 손도 제는 내가고 싫어래. 콜로 샤라를 못 대야 이거냐. 콜로 샤마 예 마샤나 로 못 대야 뭐 용게도 내가고 와. 아주 손도 신이야 돼. 로 손도 이래다. 야제야 뉘아제 세는 말은 다 손은 맞도 되는 거. 로야 보셔야 로 듣고 싶어야 돼. 로 듣고 되려면 만도 못 대야. 로야 보려면 만도 대야 돼. 대신에 로디고 되거든요. 다 거로 계속만 하죠. 내가 보면 써봐서 이제 배워야 되는데 다 대신 내가 하는데 와야 된다.
So there's different ways we can look we can understand our mind, and like we can understand the mind in terms of like how within our mind, so we would have
like two types of state of mind, which is something whether it's a positive or the negative, or something very like a destructive, force, or something very creative or very something beneficial force, and so and then or we can also look in terms of when so this what is required is to understand all this is to as much as possible to utilize our wisdom knowledge to see through that knowledge to trying to recognize the what brings sadness, unhappiness, and what brings the happiness or the joy, and so through that wisdom, so we can sometimes we can recognize how certain whenever the certain thought whenever we arise, whenever as long as that thought is there, it can make us feel sad or make us feel very restless and very unhappy, and then furthermore when we look into that thought and what it is sometimes it could be just the certain objects, it may sounds very a symbol, but it is a fact. It is true. Sometimes the main cause, the only cause why we feel unhappy, why we feel sad, painful, is because of certain thoughts, certain objects which we cannot get rid of, cannot remove from our mind. That's all. We are not able to forget that object from our mind, and that's all it is. And so therefore we can. It's even to acknowledge, to recognize that how we can understand. Okay, when this thought arise or with this of the certain particular objects, and what we can recognize how that makes one feel, and we can also recognize how that thought is totally harmful, and whatsoever there's no advantage, there's no benefit of having that thought. So it's good to even through, as we're saying, to trying to develop this wisdom, trying to even to say to oneself, and that is really no good, to see the downfall of that particular thought of a particular object, that having that such thought it means that what you are going the pain, misery, whatever you're going through, so it's all because of that. So you and then on the other hand, there are also a lot of positive thoughts, how then trying to recognize that, and then to as we develop through develop the wisdom and recognize this, and then we can in a better position to put this into practice.
Sess and Ramana son the said, Yamua. There is the Gama Chinese said, no, said them, that is them, the other never do I. The Hakon, Goja, send these, send them, the iron. Send the to the garden, Rain said, Nemo on the matter. Say, Nemo on the Mother Madame, I don't have called you. Say, Kilo on the Yel Madame, I don't have called it. Say, Madame on the Sako Lava, so young chocolate. La Chado la Yel Madame, Sella Chado Yel Madame, the Sego, my son, I called you. That's on Telidona? Yeah? Is that son of Telidona? There is that Nemo trouble, Kunda trouble, Yel Madame, Chambers of the I thought Chado trouble then. Then there's a trouble, Yel Madame, Chambers of Hotel and my God and one net on the mud there is soon I am putting away. Carjana, 지 뭐 대화세는 뭔데 지 이제 아버지가 다 손들이잖아 뭐세 들이세요 소소나 되느라 소소 거자 소소 새 아시대 많이 봐도 새 수야 세는데 새 수세 가르선 새는 영어는 많이 세는데 나 영어 새도 가르선 콜리아 그래네 이런보다 샤르좀 계속 영어 새 다 하고 다다 이다 영어리 되는데와 어떤 정도 들려가 새다 영어 언더 맞아 왔다 새진데 미바시다 너무 미바시야 새인데 지 내가 까마르래나 영어 언더 만나다 뭐다 대하지 요사 셀레 이산다 다 손 들에 되는 갈래 컨디션이잖아 되네 컨디 대용이 돼 영어는 살아 거셔야 영어는 살아 거기 가지 않니 영어 거기 줄로 따다래더라 뭐는 얘네 셔바디 이제 가정하는 컨디션이 그런 줄로 야지 내가 녀에 때문에 뭐자제 가정 말아 셔바고 이제 보면 뛰고 그런 줄로 나도 하고 손은 들에도 대령하도 다 매일에 최소나 되지래 다 손 들에 돌고 뭐자지 다 너무나 돼야 돼.
So after so after reflecting on all this on one's the thoughts on that and the various emotions that you generate and then to understand that to understand that that the one must to understand the benefits of therefore to subduing or controlling one's mind, one's thought, and then in order to subduing this one's mind, and then one engage in meditation practice, and then to trying to understand also to establish in one's mind that how the meditation is truly a true means or how of effectively to overcoming or calming one's mind. And so it's important to see this benefit of meditation practice and then have to gain some sort of conviction in one's mind so that you feel positive about the applying about integrating meditation in our life, and so therefore we're trying to understand that how when we come to the problems or the shortcomings that we experience because of or due to the arising, due to the losing our mind to the angers, the jealousies and so forth. So this is not something that we actually need to someone else have to tell to us, but we can understand this in our own experience or understand this ourselves, that how how if you observe when we experience such angers and the jealousies, when these angers we understand in our own experience that this is really this can be source of serve as a cause of misery, cause of sufferings, and so therefore it's good to it's trying to understand at least to be able to suppose if we experience a certain like a strong or the very intense form of like a desire or form of anger or jealousy is what we experience. So understand that if we do not overcome that, then we cannot really find the real peace. We cannot find the real relaxation. So therefore, to trying to engage in meditation practice, and which, as we said before, which involve us in the practice. When we engage in meditation practice, we have to try to what we are doing is to engage in our mind, in our objects, or a certain to cultivating certain mental attitude which really opposes, which are in opposed to the like all the mental afflictions and various such as the anger, and so therefore the we will find that if we engage in meditation practice properly, even if it's something very short time, we will find it very beneficial, effective in overcoming the like an intense form of such mental afflictions. And then how that again in our own experience, how the moment we are able to like diminish this strong anger or the jealousies, and how we feel ourselves. Suddenly we feel ourselves very relaxed and be able to enjoy the life, and so in this way, we are talking about the mental affliction all the time. So what it is mental affliction is something like the unwanted emotion or the thought which whenever it arises in our mind or within ourselves, and then it causes like a mental unhappiness. It brings mental unhappiness. So therefore the with the meditation practice, so as we meditate practice, so what we're trying to do, of course, we won't be able to overcome all the affliction straight away, but however we are engaged in practice where we are trying to familiarize or habituate our mind towards the objects, towards a way of thinking which are completely run in opposite to the mental afflictions, opposite to all the various negative thoughts that which arise in our mind, and such as like we train our mind. If we engage in meditation practice where we really strive hard to cultivate and to enhance love and compassion, so then as this love and compassion arises, and we become more our mind become more habitual with that, then it has the direct effects of the eliminating the angers and so forth.
no somba ni somba tiga no dunga pasene no tin se ya te to ni manda ta gni ga manda ro e la gare manda gji te te ni manda to so.
So in this talk, so we focus on the fact that how all the good or the condition, external conditions of our life is depending on the external factor, external, the gathering all the external conditions, and whereas the internal, the favorable condition, like internal happiness, that we seek in life. So that's depending on creating this condition on the mental level, or inwardly, such as we engage in meditation practice, and through meditation practice, and we cultivate cultivating our love, compassions. So therefore, we talk about that, the fact that what we want, what we all want is the mental and the physical happiness. And then we talk about how the physical happiness, how it is dependent on the good external conditions, and whereas the mental happiness depending on the internal the conditions. And so therefore, in order to we want both of them, both of this happiness, and then how it is necessary in order to achieve both of these, then we need to work on the one hand to externally to work to create the external condition, good condition, and then in order to find the mental happiness, then we we practice meditation, and that is a way, that is a very effective way to bring about the mental happiness. So in this way, the talk is, in this talk, so we cover what we wanted and how to achieve. So now we should all know that we have both the mental and the physical happiness in our hand.
Yeah. She got the leg to get on she moved in the war. La mill robots are young get it. No getting on dad, mill robots and the California should get you with war. Live Natana. The nature, Panjo Chile, Panjo, Joseph Togazana, so true, the trauma, that's a normal Kangelo Liga, Colorado, Rosina Tony, lives in another Sala, so the move, yet on you. That's him, but they are the level. Third patrol, the California shooting, let you are. The tender social running is legend in the men shall pay up a jacket. Yet their money was their cage mother. Then they go down, she was very. Then so the Shira, Tanzania, no Jan Shira, Peggy, and the Amazon, the mother, the Bosha judgment is this one was the Tava, Panjong, I don't Bosha judgment. There Bosha Jasam, you want Bosha Jasam lips? No, true, but there is also the art party and Kakaima. True, the Duma relatives as a Kakaima, the Koro New Generation. Red young in there. Wrong with that, wrong giving your generation. Wrong doing a wrong giving your top in Rachel Sandup. Yeah, not the one message, so large. Said there was not the one, the same on the no, not the one message, and live with that, not the one message, the same with that, not the one message. Live the way, not the way you say. Said the way, not the way you say you are. Then, Madame, I don't know what to say, the Panjo Zoom you are. Said the lineage is true, you are. That's on the apple, you are. Yes, you know that. Yes, then, Madame said, that said, they live there, they want to that. Later said, Mr. Timbergata. I'm not only got a coach, so I'm going to tell her to get the apple. Gavata, they are the ones shalom, that's everything you are. Then it's son of Apotona, not the tat in the pepper, that's on there to the up.
So, while there are we can draw some sort of parallels between the external, the happiness and the internal happiness, but there are also some differences. Like, for example, when we as regarding the external happiness, to find an external happiness, or to solving certain the physical or material problems. So there are, to some extent, we can seek a help from others. Like, for example, if we have a financial problems, we can get help, borrow money from friends, or if we get, physically sick, we can get some sort of support from the friends, and this external support, friends, the support that we receive from others, it does make a difference to reduce, our this physical pain and to solve certain such external, problems. But however, when you look at the mental, happiness, or our inner happiness, or whatever, even the inwardly, even the suffering that we go through. So that is, I normally say that that's not something that we, we can share. People can share with, each others. So each individual, if an individual person find a happiness, so is something that he or she experience, is really not much. It's hard to share that to others. So likewise, the pain and suffering that which we experience, is also it's difficult to share. As our talking about feeling, our emotions, so which is not something you can be shared to other. So that we can bear, less sufferings in a sense, So therefore, it's important, as we were saying, it's really important to always to ask ourselves this question, how when we go through a time when we say, I feel very unhappy, I feel very restless, and where we are pointing this cause in most time, what cause we are pointing this cause. So normally we're not really pointing the cause to, in most time we're not pointing to certain external object, like to our wealth. So a lot of time it's related to either to our mind, or to our ourself, to our mind, or to our physical, mental, or the physical well-being. That's where we are most time we are pointing our finger. So therefore, as we were saying, whatever we, what is important for all of us is this mental and the physical happiness or physical well-beings, and so therefore really whatever we do in our life, whether it's to, even to going to work, so all this it is a benefit, contribute to the betterment of our both the mental and the physical well-being, physical happiness. Then we can say that we are achieving the purpose. So otherwise we need to think about loss.
That's something that I thought about. And the living chatted the kitchen with Shara, that's on Tito Gula, Nidella. Little nation, sergeant treated in London, there go, not tell you. Seldom chatted about good, seldom chatted sort of Goja. Living chatted don't live the out Shara Pendu. Say chatted don't say the other Pendu. Living chatted on the Zochigaro and a sergeant treated in there. The say chatted the sort of Goja, the direction. Sema Sema doesn't get to live, won't you? To Sala Tinilla, you take on the sell so negative. On the listen, they are the listen chatting, what then? Live chatting, I said, live them so negative, that's all over. Saman Tabusaga, little matter, Saman Tabusaga, little another young mother. Kale, kid, another leg. That's not over. Sell the money you will marry. I don't finish it. Cause it never chimney. Tell you on the other. In the desire. I'm in the fighting out of my Kesha. Children, the children come out my share. Much is the man that you are married. The 해서 끊는 시행에 단속에 다가 저 정확하게 시행하는 거 제가 말라마에 지는 안 제가 말에 제가 가봐 제네 는 뽑아 제네 진데 내 저도 저게 공부하는 다바에 대라고 하다 얘네 제 세라페가 뭘 세라페도 제소 늘 세대 그거를 세 세대들이 제가 뭐 편도 쉬워 정성 타바토 제가 더를 해야 돼. 타바토 제가 더를 해야 돼. 타바토 내가 하고 마서 더 하고 마서 매일 심한 매일 일도 하고 마서 이나 저를 제대지 뭐냐 세월 샤라지 세월 제대지 세요 뭘 배도 뭐무슨 방송 이런 얘네들 말은 통해서 뭐서 얘네들 편도 좀 쉬세요 말 뭐야 그래 다바토 제통이 지시해야 되네 말해 말은 카드 거를 집에 구매해야지 대구 편도 이용할 때 되는 단다 되겠어 그냥 뭐시야서는 뭐 저를 될 마성 되는
So I do always emphasize the people about the taking good care of their physical health, because as we were just saying before, the thing we just as the mental happiness, so the physical happiness is also something that, very important and which we all seek. So therefore the we have to when we talk about the physical health, so we basically as you all know more than myself, so we're talking about the whatever the habits of eating and whatever we drink, like food or whatever we drink, and then to general the physical health. So when just as like how when we look at the physical health, so whatever we the takes in put in our mouth. So sometimes it's not necessarily that whatever the take would have if it's something, even if something bad one, if it has a detriment bad to our health. So the effect is not necessarily going to be immediate. Sometimes it takes a time, and then slowly then it does have a very bad to effect to our to health. And so in the same way, so we can also see the same even on the mental level. Again, when we talk about the well-being or the health of our mind, then which is also important, because if we enjoy the good health of our mind, then that means we will have more, we find more mental happiness, happiness on a mental level or within ourselves, and this is what we say that the means to bring about the mental happiness is the meditation practice to bring the happiness, and so the in a sense, essentially, so what a lot of the way I'm trying to teach other is to really to trying to focusing on something, the issues which has a which has a really directly relevant and which directly benefit other people, and it is not my taste to consider myself as something like a lama and then to giving teachings. Rather, always feel better to teach in a way as a friend to a friend, and also partly because I do not have that kind of the confidence to be called myself as a lama. So in the teaching, in my interaction with a lot of people, then what I found is that nobody have said to me that your teaching has benefited me, that I have achieved a state of liberations. Nobody has said that. No, nobody has said I have achieved complete enlightenment. Or no, I haven't come here, even someone who said, I found a good human life, good human rebirth. But there are a lot of people, who said that it helped in terms of, their taking care of their health, on the health of the body and health of the mind, and how by doing that, then they found more happiness, and that's what I trying to, focus on something which is the applicable, something which people find beneficial in their benefit in their life. Not just true chance.
6:30.
6:30. 네, 나가 다른 뭐 당하는 거에 대한 거예요. 나 드리게는 되는 게 난 처럼 되는 대다 내마셔 이제 대다 좀 저게 돼야 미디만 단 너무 많이 되나 대대 저것이 대대시 대만의 선거지 양력.
Yeah. So my topic today is supposed to be on four noble truth, but we haven't touched that. But I think it's okay, but I'll promise I will cover some of that in tomorrow's morning session.
Yeah,
so we're going to do meditation after, but just to so tomorrow we will touch on this four noble truth. So just to what are the four? So four noble truths. So is a really we can say is one of the very unique teachings of Buddhism. And so what are the four noble truths? So the truth of suffering, and the truth of the origin of sufferings, and then the truth of the cessations of suffering, and then the truth of the path to cessations. Cessations. So, in these four noble truth, so there's in this term there's no. No. So it has the word truth. Why? Those, when we name these four noble truth. So there's a word truth. So what is that? The indication is that why these are for the truth is because they as these four are as they are taught in the scriptures, so they accord with the realities, and so therefore that's one way of knowing this the connotation of the word truth in the context of the Four Noble Truth. And then even in normal life, like how when we say if someone who tell a truth, what that mean is, so whatever that person says, so is the fact, it's accord with the fact, and so it has the same connotation. Even if you take as a subjective mind, which realizes these four noble truths. So whatever that mind being, what is realized in that mind, so is accord with the realities. Yes.
So she made a puppy dembas and Chata, nearly Chata, Dembas Chata, Papa came against the door. So she made a puppy dembas, so she dembas
and then in these terms, we also notice like a noble truth. Noble truth. So that here the word noble indicates the like the noble being or an Arya, or in English like a superior being. So that is the to imply that the complete it is only the superior or the Arya being who would have who will have the complete and the direct understanding of this about these four truths. And which, if when we elaborate those four truths, then there's a talk can be elaborate in terms of the 16 characteristics, and so basically, so it is something that the direct object of the knowledge of the superior or of the noble being. So therefore, this is we say that is a noble truth for noble truth.
Papa said, God said, without having Esther, without Papa said, Papa said, Danda won't choose. Mother Danda won't send you. Danda won't have a thought. That's it. Danda won't just a woman. I should dance shoot today, then, less on the that. Here's that Papa and I tell about it. That's got it for us, not dance. Mamma, I don't dance over sun. I tell Chava, I don't want anything. That pass station.
And if you're wondering, why this noble being, or in Sanskrit Arya, why they are called like a superior being, or sometimes they call it like a transcendental being, is because normally we say it's because they have the direct realizations of the selflessness, and then the thing is the another way of knowing is that why superior beings are called as why they are called as a superior. That is, they are superior in they compare to common or ordinary being. So because the ordinary beings are those who are under the dominance, under the dominance of these like self-grasping, and so therefore, however, the as a superior being, because they have free themselves, they are free from this dominance or from the empire of this self-grasping. So therefore, this term, like a superior, or when you say transcendent, is something connotes as an Arya being who have gone past, who have transcended the overrule or the dominance by the self-grasping.
Yeah. That's it. I don't give it. Never said the job of a cardinal. I don't call about the watching you are. The one I don't kill Gitty, do not demba. You can eat the basket. While the trash, Yabala, trying in Javish, go with you are. They'll tell them good as a project is telling lodging or a lot, then Lades in Lena, find you do, you really on the Senna,
So there's also the reason why there are, a list of like four noble truth. Then the reason is to do with the order in which the beings are born or in the cyclic existence. So which is that there's or in the order or the stages of being born into this cyclic existence. So in terms of that, so there's a cause. There has to be a cause to be born in cyclic existence, and then their experience as a suffering, and then which is the first two truth, the stage of in which the beings are born into cyclic existence, and then when we speak in terms of the achieving freedom, or the way out of this cyclic existence, then what we call there's a truth of when we attaining the truth of the cessation. So that is the view like liberating from the cyclic existence. So again, and then how and means to achieve the liberation. So that is the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. So these next two truths are in terms of the being, being to be free from the cyclic existence.
Yeah.
And there's also explanations to the order of these four noble truths. There's an order when we in terms of the cause and effect. Then of course the cause comes first. So therefore between the first two truths, then the truth of the origin is the first, which is the cause, and for the truth of this suffering. So the truth of suffering is next, and likewise the cause for achieving the truth of cessation, actualizing the truth of cessation, is the path. So therefore in terms of the cause and effect, so the truth of cause comes first before the truth of cessations. So, but then there's also explanation of the order in which the truth of the suffering is presented or is taught first. So this particular order is to. It is said that it is to suit the order, suit the training, the order in which to training the mind, training our mind, and or in another word, order of the practice. We engage in the practice of the Four Noble Truths. So in that order, then the truth of the suffering is taught first, comes first, and then followed by the path, and then again the truth of the cessation comes first, and then the path at the end.
Yeah. I go there. They are the line. Low, denser, chavache line. The more do not ship us, the nickel you want, and other river ship line. They do it in Lord Jensen, chavache, what you say, the Italian. 뭐 동아 씨바 씨에서요. 근데 그게 뭐가 씨는 맞아 리버시 뭐지 라인 거라. 동아 질래 그래 코인즈야 마이나 코 제해도네. 따지 될래요. 제해나 just 보자 동아 유사야 말아. 되게 이게는 리버시 뭐지 라고. 난 완전 손도야. 얘만 동아에 생기고 내가는 단단히만 내봐야 동아를 내가 콜로거나 세상되는 문제들 다 손이 내가 그래. 제가 다 리버시라고 그래.
So the loss. So in terms of the order in which these four noble truths are presented, then the first the truth of the suffering is presented, first, and then followed by the truth of the origin of the sufferings, and so this order, the order of presentation is really makes a great deal of sense, in terms of the for the practitioners to follow. So because it is saying in order to or prior to take serious with finding a means or to overcome the sufferings, the cause of the suffering. So it is necessary to first of all to recognize the sufferings, the suffering nature, and so therefore, but then if you simply introduce the sufferings, but if you don't introduce the cause, or the origin of the suffering, then the result can be only you'll be only causing, in fact, adding more stress, more worries in the somebody's mind, that you. But however, by saying, after introducing the suffering, then when you say the cause of the original suffering, then they realize it gives them it's very effective them to realize that these sufferings can be overcome, because there's a cause, there's a cause to the suffering, so therefore it can be overcome. So we'll come back to this more tomorrow morning. So we will go over this more tomorrow. But then in the meantime, if you find a chance, give a bit of thought on a very quick few summaries that are given on that, and might. So I'm assuming that at least you know what are the four noble truths and why each one of them is called as truth. For example, the first noble truth of suffering, why that is called as the truth. That is important to understand, and as well as in that wording of the truth, for four noble truths, there's a word called as a noble or the superior. So what is the connotation of that of the meaning of those words? So we'll do just a short meditation, breathing meditation together, which is simple. But however, you should understand that it's very effective, particularly to getting rid of the immediate any such the thoughts. So you all are familiar with all the various what we should do when we engage in meditation practice. So not going in too much in that, but it's important that whenever we engage in meditation practice to trying to start by fully relaxing your body and also very comfortable with your feel comfortable. So like with the physical sitting posture, so it's saying we have to be when we meditate we have to feel physically very relaxed and as well as very comfortable. So therefore the posture must really suit the individuals, and so this means that like if it is more suitable if someone who's got a knee pain, if you sit on floor, then to sit on the chair, and which was in fact is also something the posture which is also approved by the Lord Buddhas, because if with a knee problem, if you force you to sit on the floor, then it affects your concentration, which will go on to the pain rather than to your meditation practice. And then in this meditation, so we need to ensure that our whole mental concentration, or the focus is on breathing in and out, and so therefore the in order to be able to this have a good this single pointed concentration, so therefore it's important to or we need to get rid of all these distracting thoughts, because if our mind is distracted towards any outside, then of course we won't be able to focus on the object, meditation objects. So so therefore the trying to in this meditation, so as much as possible to trying to we need to direct the mind on the breathing, and also trying to retain that the object, and by preventing and the any external distractions.